Good morning. Today we are starting book 2 with unit 4. So we're getting that book 2. We can see it's CO29 to PO50. This is our trimester 2 binder. We started try 2. We're in a new binder. We will get another binder for try 3. Please remember, this does not mean we get rid of binder 1. We save binder 1 because every test that we take, there will be that M6 review, the Math 6 review. So we need to be able to look back at previous objectives to review them so we can do well on that part of the test. So you do need to hold on to these binders. You do not need to bring them to class, that binder 1, unless you're working on the practice work and retakes from unit 3. Okay, otherwise you can leave it in your locker just to have it to review before next test. Okay, you do need to bring binder 2 every day to class now. So make sure on the cover, I told you when I was passing you out, use your Sharpie, put book 2 so you know which one to grab because they look alike. Even this cover page looks very close, very similar. It just says book 2 instead of book 1 at the bottom. Make it big on your binder on the outside so you know which one to grab. Write your name with your Sharpie on your binder in case it gets left behind. I don't have stickers with your names on it for this, so use your Sharpie, write your name on your binder. Is everybody hearing me right now? Grab your Sharpie, write your name on it. Or you can write on that cover page. I told you to take this cover page out and slide it in the front. You can write your name on the cover page with your pencil. That's fine too. But we need to be able to know whose it is, and you need to be able to easily know which one is book 2. There will be people, if you do not make it very noticeable and obvious it's book 2, there will be people every day coming with the wrong book. Let's try to prevent that because that wastes time going back to our lockers to find book 2. So make sure you know this is book 2. Our first unit is unit 4. We are going to be working on percentages and converting fractions and decimals and percentages and learning what that all means. So we'll be working with percents this unit. So now, today we are doing our first objective of unit 4. I can convert percentages and fractions. In order to do that, I did not double check to see if this was going to work. Of course, it is not working because technology does not like me after breaks. Let me okay, let's do this. We are going to see if the document camera works. All right, let's see if the pen works for this. Lawrence, I believe this will work. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is what percent means. Per, this first part, per means out of, is it going to show up? It says that it's going to write in red, but I am not seeing it show up, of course. So we're going to come back over here. All right, so per means out of, and cent means 100. So percent means it is out of 100. 100 is the key number we need to remember for this unit. 100, 100ths, okay? Key number that we need to remember. So 71% literally means 71 out of 100. This can be written as a fraction. And that fraction would be have 71 out, that fraction bar means out of 100. 71 hundredths. Okay, so that is an easy conversion to do. 71%, our fraction is 71 hundredths. So 49% literally means 49 out of 100. How can this be written? What do you think, Nolan? 49 100ths. So 49 over 100. So following that same logic, what would 161% look like? Emma? 161 over 100. So let's look at 25%. What would that look like, James?
25
Yeah, 25 over 100. And then we see this word or, and a note, yes, you do need to simplify. Remember simplifying fractions. That was on a previous objective. So we still need to remember how to simplify. So when we are converting to fractions, you need to check, can I convert this fraction? What could I convert it to, simplify it to, Lila? 1/4. I can divide a 25 out of 25 and a 25 out of 100, and I get 1/4. You must simplify fractions. If you do not, it will be wrong. We must simplify fractions. So now it says convert each percent to a fraction and write your answer in simplest form. So 82%, what would I write? Emma? 82 over 100. Is this my final answer? Why not? I heard somebody say no. James?
No, because it's an even.
Wow, 82 has a 2 as an even number in the ones place. 100 has a 0 in the ones place. They are both even. What do I know? My divisibility rules. What can I divide out of both of them? Emma? A 2. So 82 divided by 2 is 41. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Can I go any simpler? Think about your divisibility rules. Can I divide it by 2? I'm seriously asking the class, can I divide this by 2 again? No, because 41 is odd. Can I divide it by 3? 50 is not divisible by 3. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 you can't divide by 3. Can't divide it by 4 because I can't divide it by 2 again. Can't divide 41 by 5 because it ends in a 1. Can't divide it by 6 because I can't divide it by 3. Can't divide it by 9 because 4 plus 1 is 5. That's not divisible by 9. Can't divide it by 10. It doesn't end in a 0. So I can't divide it by anything else. So 41 over 50 is as small as I can go. That's my final answer, so I'm going to circle it. Let's do 75%. What fraction would 75% become? Jack? I love that you're already thinking about simplifying. Tell me what fraction you're going to simplify first. 75 over 100. And then Jack says, I can simplify that. What should I divide it by, Jack? By 5. So 75 divided by 5 would be 15. 20 divided by 5 is 20. Is that as low as I can go? Liam's shaking his head. What can I divide them both by, Liam? I can divide by 5 again. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Can I go any lower? 3/4. Can I divide anything else out of 3/4? That is as low as I can go, so I am going to circle it. So even though you simplify one time, you might have to simplify again. Somebody might have said, oh, I can divide a 25 out of 75 and 100, and they would have only had to simplify one time. But a lot of times we don't know those big numbers that we can divide out, so we have to simplify a couple of times, and that's okay. We get the same answer. The smallest fraction would be 3/4. Look at 9%. What would that become? What fraction would 9% become? What do you think, Bridget? 9/100. Is there anything I can divide out of 9 that I can also divide out of 100? James is shaking his head. No, that is as low as we can go. So sometimes we don't have to simplify. Sometimes it's already as simple as it can get. Our next section, you're going to finish that section later. Let's look at our next section. It says, to convert a fraction to a percentage, our focus goes to the denominator of the fraction. Because percent literally means out of 100, any numerator over denominator of 100 represents the percentage. Not every denominator will be 100 though, but there are some friendly ones. Below are some friendly denominators. So let's look at this. What would I multiply 1 by to get to 100? Emma? What do I multiply 10 by to get to 100? 10 times what gets me 100? Lexi? 10. 2 times what gets me to 100? Aiden? 50. 4 times what gets me to 100? James? 25. 5 times what gets me to 100? Aiden? 20. We know 10 times 10. So 20 times what gets me to 100? James? The 5. 25 times what? Aiden? And 50 times what? Kellen? 2. So this is important to know because not only do we go from percents to fractions, but we're going to go from fractions to percents. So we're going to go back and forth between the two. So up top, we had percents that we just put over 100 and simplified. That was easy. Now we have fractions that we need to go to a percent and we need to show our work. What do you think? What magic number do we have to put as our denominator? Liam? 100. So I want 100 to be my denominator. What do I multiply that 5 by to get to 100? So we look up at our friendly denominators. What am I going to multiply it by? Kylie? 20. 5 times 20 is 100. I don't have to have it completely all memorized. I can just look at my friendly denominators. 5 times 20 is 100. Whatever I do to my bottom, I must do to my top. So I have to do, to find my new numerator, I have to do 3 times 20. What is 3 times 20, Nolan? 60. So now I have 60 over 100. Any wild guess on what percent that would be? Natalie? 60%, which is your answer. So what you have to do is you have to make that denominator go up to 100. Whatever you multiplied the denominator by, you multiply your numerator by. Then we can take that numerator and call it our percent. You must put the percent sign because 60 is very different than 60%. So we do have to make sure we have that percent sign when we are converting to a percentage. So we're going one direction, going from the percent to the fraction, and then we're going the opposite way, going from the fraction to the percent. Let's do one more of our fractions. 9/25. What do I have to do to find my percent? Walk me through it, Sarah. I need to multiply by 4 because 25 times 4 gets me that 100 for my denominator. Magic number. Always make sure you're getting that denominator to 100. If I multiplied the denominator by 4, what do I have to do next, Sarah? Multiply the numerator by 4. What is 9 times 4? 36. So I have 36 hundredths. And yes, I need to write it out because I'm showing my work. I'm not going to do mental math and say, oh, I know the answer is this, and just put the percent. You have to show your fraction and how you got there. If I have 36 hundredths, what is my percent going to be? Sarah, finish this out. 36%. That new numerator becomes our percent. Any questions on how to go from percent to fraction or fraction to percent? Show me your 3 thumbs. How are we feeling about this? Okay, let's look at our second page. Second page has some word problems. We're doing the same thing, guys. Just because now we have words thrown in there, it doesn't change the math that we're doing. So it says Shevin Colts, he's Russian, because Mr. Schultz is a funny guy, the famous basketball player, made 60% of his shots one game. What fraction of his shots did he make? So if he made 60%, how can we find our fraction? James?
0 over 60. 100 over 60.
We're going to turn that into our fraction. We take that percent of 60 and we put it over 100. Am I done? Is that my final answer? Aiden, why did that hand go up so quick? We can simplify it. What can I divide out of 60 and 100, Aiden? I can divide 20 out. Aiden, what's 60 divided by 20? What's 100 divided by 20? 5. So my final answer is 3/5. So you have to read the problems, figure out, is it telling me a percent that I have to turn into a fraction and simplify? Is it giving me a fraction that I need to find the percent of? So multiply that denominator up to 100 and then take that new numerator to be the percent. So our next question said, in your history class, you have taken 2 tests. You scored 18 out of 25 on the first unit and 17 out of 20 on the second unit. What percent did you get on each test? So I'm going to take my first fraction and I need to find my percent. What do I have to do to find that percent of 18 over 25? What my first step is going to do what, Jack? Yeah, I need to get that 25 to go up to 100. What do I multiply 25 by to get to 100, Emma?
4.
The 4. What is 18 times 4? What can we use if we don't know? You can use your assignment notebook. You can also, I believe, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use calculators on the test. So you can use the assignment notebook or you can write it out. This might be one that we have to show that we know how to do it, so we're not going to use calculators. I need to double check on that one. What is 18 times 4, Aiden? 72. So what percent would that be, Aiden? It is 72 over 100, but to turn it into our percent, we take that numerator, and it's 72%. Now it says what percent did you get on each unit test, so I have to do that 17 over 20 also. What do I multiply by to get it to be 100 as my denominator? Emma? By 5. What is 17 times 5? Emma? 17 times 5 is 85, so that is 85%. How much better was your percentage on the second unit than the first unit? What do you think we have to do to find that? Bennett? We need to subtract 85 minus 72. 5 minus 2 is 3. 8 minus 7 is 1. So it's 13% better. So make sure as you're reading the problems, you read for meaning. What am I doing? Am I going from percent to a fraction? Am I going from a fraction to a percent? Make sure you're answering the questions completely. Any questions on this unit? Okay, remember, I am after school on Wednesday and Thursday for help with that last test, for help with these objectives as we're working on it. If you go, I didn't quite understand it, can we just go over it again? Okay, so Wednesday from 2 to 3, Thursday from 2:30 to 3. Retake days again on Friday. So I just passed back a bunch of practice works that people need to fix stuff up on. If you haven't turned in practice works yet for your retakes, get them turned in before Friday. So on Friday, you'll be ready to do the retakes. So we don't have a big line, a big pile for me to correct. We want to be able to get through more retakes this Friday. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.